Here we go.
So, Brando, let's go ahead and talk about the trailer everyone's talking about. Right now, I'm going to start with a little bit of stats here because I'm a stats guy. In 2 days, this trailer has 34,137,719 plays. Okay? It probably is the most talked about trailer of this year, which is surprising, but not surprising. It has reduced grown men and people alike to tears and jubilation all at once. We are obviously talking about Star Wars The Force Awakens, which we will be getting this December. We don't have much longer to wait. A little bit of the rundown. One thing we know, Planet Jakku plays a huge role in this movie. One thing that is very important for people to understand is in the video game world of this, Planet Jakku is going to play a huge role in the new Battlefront game. And that will lead you into the movie, which is really cool how they're
Mm-hmm.
doing that.
Yeah, the game comes out on November 22nd, I think, and then the mission for Jakku is going to come out as a free DLC, I believe, on December 8th, and if you pre-order it, you get it like a week before.
Correct. Now, one thing you notice about the planet, there's a gigantic Star Destroyer that has been downed. It is defeated. There's also in the foreground either a B-Wing or an X-Wing that's been crashed as well. I'm pretty sure it was an X-Wing. At first when you see the desert planet, you're like, oh, Tatooine, cool. But nope, you're fooled. So this trailer gave us a lot of what I thought was just amazing footage. We got to see a destroyed Darth Vader mask, helmet, if you will, which was very interesting. Curious to find out who's holding it. I assume Luke, but maybe not. Maybe Kylo Ren is the owner now of Vader's helmet, and he is like a worshiper of Lord Vader. We also get to see R2-D2 with presumably Luke Skywalker. The hand, robotic right hand, kind of gave it away a little bit as he touched R2 there. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you thought this, there's a female who is handed a lightsaber. And at first I didn't think anything of it. I just thought it was Rey, the new main female character in the Star Wars series. And then when I watched it a second time, the words that Luke is saying about my sister is also a Jedi. I mean,
Yeah, dude, they line up. It says, the whole, speech is like it's a takeoff of the speech from Jedi. The Force is strong in my family. My father has it, and it shows Vader's, burnt helmet. I have it, and it shows that mysterious figure with the robot hand touching R2. My sister has it. Mysterious woman, we don't see her face, being handed a lightsaber. My sister has it. And then it goes kind of black, and it says, and you have that power too. And that is what I caught instantly because, again, I had a pretty deep discussions about this trailer with a lot of people I work with, and the thought is that was Rey. And there was even there's a theory that she was being handed Vader's lightsaber. But it's not Vader's lightsaber.
mm-mm.
Here's my theory. It's actually Anakin's lightsaber. The lightsaber that was given to Luke and that he later then lost in Episode 5 after he got his hand cut off. It looks exactly like the one that he got. Vader's is a similar build but more black. And it's interesting enough because you guys can't see this because we're doing video chat. Is that the same lightsaber you have on your wall?
Yeah, actually, it's a form of that lightsaber.
A form of that? Because it does look a little bit different on that version. But and also if you look at like her hand, she's wearing a honkin' ring. It is huge. There's no, I don't see why the new Rey character, who is a scavenger, would be wearing that big of a ring. I think it would get in the way. But yeah, that is very interesting because they don't necessarily show either one of those two. It's just a snippet, and you're left wondering. And then, of course, it goes black, and it says, this Christmas. And then we start seeing some action sequences. We see almost a continuation of the X-Wing scene from the teaser. They're flying along the water, and you hear the pilot, who is Poe Dameron, who is one of the three main heroes from this new trilogy. And the interesting thing about him, and now this is not in the trailer, because I knew, like you probably, don't know a whole lot about these new characters.
No, they. I'm going out on a limb here. I don't think they're expanded universe characters. I think these are new characters created specifically for this film, which is great. A new story and a new take on things.
They have, officially, as far as I know, they have retconned the entire expanded universe. None of that happens. And because they're going forward with their new vision. So they're making a new expanded universe, which are actually going to have films. So you can pretty much throw a lot of what has been done out the window until they say it exists. Which kind of sucks for all the people who followed that for so many years and are so attached to it. It does suck. But this is what we're going to have to deal with if we want new Star Wars movies. Because obviously at some point George Lucas said, yeah, I'm not making any more movies after the original trilogy. Do what you want with that, and we'll make sure it kind of co-aligns with the general idea. But now that he's out of the picture and they're going forward, they're not going to do another prequel. They're doing a sequel, so they have to make sure that it lines up, and they're not going to go off of what somebody else has written. So Poe Dameron, at the celebration, they actually did a panel, and they brought out the new guys. And when asked who he is, did you see this?
No,
name?
I have not yet.
They ask, who is Poe Dameron? And he says, Poe Dameron is the best damn pilot in the entire galaxy. So it sort of gives you a clue into who this guy is. Is he going to be sort of like more of a kind of a cocky type character, kind of like a Han Solo kind of character? But obviously he's serving in the Resistance. Did you catch that one as well?
Yes.
They did change the names. It's no longer the Empire and the Rebels. It is the First Order and the Resistance, which we'll touch on that after we're done talking about our points. I definitely have stuff to say about that. But they said, when explaining who Poe Dameron is, he said he's pretty much the best pilot in the entire galaxy. And a certain princess has given him a special mission. Which is interesting. It's interesting. He didn't elaborate. They didn't elaborate on that. Of course. But of course, you can only assume, okay, what princess are we talking about here? And what mission could she want? If you go based on what could be her earlier in the trailer, what is she looking for? What could she be looking for? What could she want?
I don't know, man. Guide me here, my friend.
All right, so for some reason Finn is being chased. Not only in this trailer, but by the other trailer. In fact, anytime you ever see this poor guy, he's breathing heavy and hyperventilating. I hope he gets a chance to calm down and we can actually see, what his character is besides running. But I will say that he's in some pretty damn good shape. But he's running from something. And not to go further into speculation, but there was sort of a rumor that in this film we're going to be dealing with something called Sith Inquisitors. You are hunting down Force potentials.
Really?
And the idea from the previous trailer is that Finn is a Force potential and is being chased and being hunted down by the Sith Inquisitors. With which, in fact, the Sith Inquisitors were introduced in the new Star Wars Rebels cartoon that's on TV. So, if the Sith Inquisitors are hunting down people with Force potentials, and say the New Order is gaining ground, because we don't actually know where this new galaxy is at this point. We know that the Rebels defeated the Empire when they destroyed, or we don't even know if they completely defeated the Empire, but they know that the Empire lost that battle, and they lost the Emperor, they lost Vader. So we always just assume that the Empire fell. But obviously the Empire was fragmented. The Empire was freaking vast. Even if they got thrown out of power, there's going to be someone that stands up and says, I'm in charge now. We're going to form a new order, the First Order, perhaps. So if these guys are gaining ground, perhaps they need some guidance. Perhaps they want something to combat these Sith Inquisitors. Maybe one of the only living Jedi at this point.
Luke.
Potentially, yes. So, I mean, this is just us kind of trying to connect the dots about who these characters are. Basically, one of the next things we see is that we see Kylo Ren, our good old sort of cross lightsaber wielder. And the really interesting thing about this is that you actually kind of sort of like all this stuff is sort of quick. It's very quick, and you actually sort of see him, using like doing a force push of some sort. And what's awesome is that all this stuff is sort of like tied in. It's going very fast. It's rolling. It's doing this, doing that. You see, Finn Ray and BB-8, the new droid, which running away from being shot at by TIE fighters. It seems like whoever is coming after Finn wants him dead. They have orders to kill him for whatever he did, or whether he's a force potential, who knows? But he is wanted. Now, an interesting thing about BB-8 is that also at the celebration, they brought him out on stage.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
And that is a practical droid. It's not a special effect.
No, he works.
That's crazy.
Man, that blew me away, man.
It blew me away as well, because R2 was on the stage at the same time, and BB-8 came out. That was pretty badass. Now, what did you think about the new Stormtrooper?
I do. I like the look. I like the look because you can tell where it's based from, but it's just like, okay, this movie is set sort of 30 years later. What happens after time? Things get sleeker. Things get better. It seems like this is sort of a futuristic take on what the Stormtrooper outfit would become. And interesting enough, that there's also another sort of new look.
Yes, before we touch on that new look, let me call back one last thing on this Stormtrooper. It's interesting that you say that it's a futuristic take on the original Star Wars, being that at some point we do in fact see Finn wearing Stormtrooper disguise like both Han and Luke did in the original, which was cool. And then obviously we moved on and got to, for the first time, see this rumored clone trooper who looks absolutely badass phenomenal.
Now, what's interesting about this Chrome Trooper is that the Chrome Trooper had a cape.
Yes.
Much like another badass character wore a cape.
DB?
From the previous... I was thinking about another certain badass person with a blaster.
Oh, Boba Fett. The Fett man.
Now, the rumors are circling that the Chrome Trooper is someone called Captain Phasma. And then there's another rumor is that this person is a female.
Whoa.
And there's other rumors, there's rumors upon rumors for this, that this person is being played by someone who's in Game of Thrones. I don't remember the actress's name, but she plays Lady Brienne of Tarth. Huh. And she is a pretty built woman. She's pretty tall, and she is in Game of Thrones, she does play a pretty badass warrior. And so the rumor has it is that she will be playing Captain Phasma, and that this Chrome Trooper is in fact Captain Phasma. Whether or not this outfit is unique to this character, whether or not they're like an elite, or she was just he or she was so badass that they said, here's your own armor to signify that when you come on the battlefield, shit's about to go down. Now, what's awesome here is that we have a few scenes that show BB-8 looking around the corner, and where is he at?
Well, it seems he's in a Star Destroyer, right? No?
No, look closer.
I can't right now. We're recording, but...
Oh, okay. Because the Chrome Trooper was what looked like it was in a former Imperial. Sort of had the same markings and stuff. But the droid is in the Millennium Falcon.
Okay, I was going to say that. That makes more sense, though.
And, of course, we see the Falcon again. Almost seems like another continuation of the chase. And what's interesting enough is that we get a new look because they're being chased by TIE fighters. We get a new look at the brand new TIE pilot outfit. And so you have the breathing hose, you have everything down. And we also see Rey helping Finn up. It seems like she's offering her hand and he's running and out of breath again. So she helps him up, and it probably goes to where they're running again. So we get all this stuff. The Falcon flies into what looks like to be the exhaust of the Star Destroyer and goes through the tunnel thing, much like Return of the Jedi, which was freaking awesome. And of course, this whole thing, the whole trailer's building up, and it goes black, and then you hear
Chewie, we're home.
And then we see Han, a much older Han, and Chewie, and of course the signature growl from Chewie. And this whole trailer sent chills down my spine as I watched it. I've watched it multiple times.
Me too. It's I said this before and I'll say it again. It definitely moved me to tears, just because the realization that when we were growing up, there was no more Star Wars, and then they did the prequels, and that was fun. That was whatever. We knew how that story ended. Now we are becoming adults in our grown-up life world, and now we get our own trilogy that has a possibility to do something really properly special and tell a story that we will love to see and be able to carry that down generations, just like the original trilogy.
I believe that this movie will be the biggest movie of the year because of that, because of generations. You have the original fans, those people have kids, now they have grandkids.
Yeah.
So, I remember when the prequels came out, and they were ours. They were our generation Star Wars movies. And as you said, we knew how they were going to end, but they were ours. And be that as it may, for good or bad, they were our movies. But now we get a chance to see, and it's funny because I was wondering if the stigma of maybe those movies not being that good were going to affect us. And obviously they haven't. People are at this point are like, no. We have renewed
Well, they
faith.
got the right name to helmet. I mean, J.J. Abrams doesn't play around. He gets things done and he does them right. So I knew as soon as they said J.J. was at the helm of this that it was going to be phenomenal. One thing that I kind of noticed that I really was happy with is they nailed the almost cinematic tone of how the original trilogy was shot.
I agree. And I said the same thing.
And I love that. I don't really, final points. I'm more than ever excited to see this. December can't get here soon enough. I'm kind of pissed that J.J. Abrams didn't get his wish. I don't know if you know about this, but he was lobbying for them to move the release date into July. Because of how bad he wants people to see this at this point, They're pretty much done. So,
yeah. I guess it's going to be a hell of holidays.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. You're going to have a gigantic monster of Age of Ultron that's getting ready to come out that they say is going to smash all the records that Avengers did, and then in December we get to see if all those records get smashed one last time,
I know, yeah. It's going to be awesome to be in theaters and see both of these films.
I'm so excited, Brando. This is this was a good reacts. We can't call it a video. I guess it's a audio clip for people. This is something different. We're not going to have a show this week. We are going to have a show this week, but it's not going to be on current topics, and we wanted to make sure to stay in the know and make sure to get you guys some information of what we think of this, because obviously you value our opinion to some point, or you would not be listening to this right now.
Yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this, go check out the podcast. This is pretty much what we do on a regular basis.
Yeah, man. I'm glad it's only 2:20 in the morning. It's my birthday officially.
Happy birthday, dude!
Party, I guess. It's gonna be fun. You're enjoying a beverage. I like that. They can't see that, but I can.
No, they can't.
I can see. It's funny because that's your game room that I love so much. But Brando, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this one. My battery on the iPad's almost dead, so
you got it.
I'm excited for the future of these movies. We're going to be talking a lot more about Star Wars, and who knows, they might surprise us with some more information tomorrow on the final day of celebration and give us some one last pop before it's all done,
That'd be neat, man.
So until next time, Brando.
Yeah, dude. Well, I guess we'll just check you guys
Yeah,
later.
have a good one.